Welcome to the Standpoint. Yes. And you hear it from me over and over again. 2016, our theme, that's the Standpoint's theme, is the responsible woman. This is an election year. 2016. Yes, we'll be going to the polls. How many women are out there? How many women will we manage to push, to encourage, to vote for, to go into parliament? But you know, something interesting happened to me last year. In September last year, I had a letter from Wesley Girls High School, Wegehe, the 97-year group. You know, I went to Fantiman. I'm a Moga. But they wrote to me inviting me to be one of their patrons. I thought that was quite something else. And we've had such a wonderful relationship since then. And some of them, the executive, the president, the secretary, the vice. You know, I have a foundation, the Awo Danswa Reading Project. We have a library. They came to donate donate boxes of books to the foundation. Can I have them join me here, please? Please put your hands together for them. Introduce yourself.
Merci, Sechwabia Ejakwa, and I'm the Welfare and Organizing Secretary for the 1997 year group. Okay. That's Wesley Girls High School.
Oh, okay.
And my name is Hafsa Arthur. I'm the president of the year group.
Madam President.
I'm Therese Akitia Ama, and I'm visiting.
Okay. Okay.
And my name is Ophelia Amaoni. I am the secretary of the year group.
And thank you very much. But let me ask you, Madam President, how much does this mean to you? Did you even consider about the underlying connotations of women supporting women?
We did. As a matter of fact, we had a long list of recommendations of who to put in and who to put out. But ultimately, what we were looking for were people to hold hands with us, people who have set the pace before us with what they have done, and it didn't matter at the point of consideration that they went to Wesley Girls or they didn't go to Wesley Girls. We do have a lot of patrons who are from Wesley Girls High School, and we're very proud of ourselves, and you all know we are proud of ourselves.
Yes.
But beyond that, I think to be fair to Ghana and to the nation, Ghana has raised a lot of great women irrespective of their schools, and there are some whose schools we may never even have heard of the name before. And so we looked at you, we looked at what you had done for women, and we thought this was a cause we wanted to identify with. And that was what drove us to this.
Thank you very much. We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Amma, and I'm a W Young Professional.
My name is Benedessa. I'm a W in business.
Hi, I'm AC, and I'm proud to represent the W and family.
I have access to the best sources of inspiration, an outstanding mentor, career workshops, and more.
I am connected to a panel of professional advisors. I even got a new business partner through a W seminar.
Being a working mother is amazing, and W empowers us with special lifestyle offers, an early saver for the kids, and bank assurance protection for the whole family.
Sign on to W at any Access Bank branch near you.
Get inspired.
Get connected.
Get empowered.
W, inspiring, connecting, empowering.
Odo, ayo best my power.
Tina tomac mixture. Oh, be only osani yefuyeri be niasem. Sana tina tet malakeno so. Etu malaria, tipaye, stress, any unam yao biase.
Free 020-816-0807 and 0276-875629.
Tina tet in you.
Aye, Busian Chamfa. Live for live. Hi. One can. Maybe you invite you for dinner.
LEAP.
Lip tomato paste.
For
what else?
honey. When you say little tomato paste, you are there. It's so be so.
Never. Don't want to say hi.
Madam, the food tastes very good. What's the secret?
LEAP.
Leap. Leap tomato paste. Emma Edwani de Papa.
For bulk purchase, contact 050-140-1088.
The things you do for me. It's a new beginning and a new dawn. The Standpoint, 8 years of impacting women and society by the grace of God. Finally, get your sports gear ready for the 8th Femathon, a walk for peace on the 23rd of July. Venue, Elwak Sports Stadium, Accra. Time, 6 a.m. There will be fun games, cooking competition, and so much more.
Sponsored by, supported by, media partners.
The Standpoint at 8, woman, arise and shine. Your new dawn is here.
Nothing can break through you.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Today, our topic for discussion is election 2016 and the women. Of course, you'll be hearing more from us, as we get closer to the day for the elections. How many women are we going to get at the end of it all? I have with me in the studio my ever faithful president of the Greater Accra Market Association, and as always, she came with her executives and other members from markets across Greater Accra. Please put your hands together for her. I also have Women's Manifesto Coalition, led by my sister from another mother, Ajua Babmi. Abantu for Development, they are here. We also have the Young Urban Women's Movement and Presby Church Accra Newtown. Thank you all for coming. But remember, the Standpoint is also aired on ABN TV, on Sky Channel 235, which is across Western Europe, parts of Canada, and Asia. Seated right opposite me is the woman I think I should have had one-on-one with her, Kina is the project lead. Ghana Decides. Welcome to the Standpoint. Next to her, I have Dr. Rose Mensah Kuting, Executive Director, Abantu for Development. And then next to Dr. Rose, I have Jessica Horn from the African Women's Development Fund. Welcome to the Standpoint.
Thank you.
As for Dr. Rose, this is home. Now, Doc, 2 years ago when we launched the 10th anniversary of the Women's Manifesto, the slogan was women demanding, women still demanding. And what are we going to do differently this year, election 2016?
Thank you very much, Gifty, for your commitment to women's rights and for always supporting the work that the different women's organizations do.
The point is, if you are in my life, I have no option.
Thank you so much. You've said it. 2 years ago, when we had the 10th anniversary of the Women's Manifesto, we set ourselves 2 objectives. Right. We wanted to make sure that we looked at the changes that have gone on in the country, right, and to update the manifesto to have a second edition. We also wanted to do an abridged version of the manifesto. Now, with the first objective, I'm happy to report to you that we are almost done with finalizing the second edition of the manifesto. Awesome. And as usual, the African Women's Development Fund has been our major sponsor for this, and also the Frederick Ebert Foundation. Right. And when we were going through the process of reviewing the manifesto to produce the second edition, we were really surprised because we found out that actually one of the sessions in the manifesto which talks about women in politics and decision making, we looked at the narrative and we saw that really nothing has changed. And so for us, with election 2016, we need also to ensure that we bring this issue back to the agenda of the elections, that the women's agenda should be one of the main central issues on the table with regard to election 2016. The issue.
Let me go to Kina. I didn't even mention Kina as a full name. Kina is Kina Likimani. Yes. You know, I did. So what you were nodding? So you agree that nothing much has changed?
I think it's the entire environment and the factors that contribute to it. So you will find that women, by and large, are very passionate about Ghana. They are very passionate about supporting people. So in my district, for instance, women at the local level in political parties, they do a lot. But most of the time, to the positions that women feel at the local level that they can stand for, women's organizer. Always, it's women's. In fact, it's women's organizer, and there isn't a sense that there's no opening. And here I blame the political parties, because you can't. The factors that hinder a woman's ability to stand, for instance, are very different, and there are pressures. In fact, there was a story. I mean, I think during the local elections, this woman in Western Region had gone to pick up the forms to stand as a local assemblywoman, but she apparently she hadn't completed the widowhood right, so they locked her in. They locked her in her house, and she couldn't file. So some of these things, and you know, when we cannot continue already the oppressive cultural practices that hold women back. We can't then continue to do that in a political environment. So one is actually that women are enthusiastic, but the factors that impede their participation, some of it being money, funny enough, whereas there's a sense that there's money, women don't have enough access to resources. Men aren't willing to, in the political parties, men aren't willing to advance the cause of women. And also the environment is not the kind of language that prevails in the environment. Most women don't want to participate, don't want to be in that environment. And then, of course, so what happens is that we build this narrative where to be a woman and to participate in politics, you have to be strong. Well, that is just too much of a burden.
Strong is an
everybody wants a strong woman. But that is not, men don't have to be strong. They don't even, in Ghana, men don't even have to be brilliant. They can just be mediocre men, and they will go and stand for MP. But the kind of checklist we want, a woman has to be exceptional. She has to be this. You have to negotiate your participation in party politics with your family. And they would, you know, it's like they would say, oh, don't go into politics or go into. So these are some of the issues. But primarily, when we look at participation of women, I put a lot of the blame on the political parties not opening up any kind of space for women.
Jessica, what is it that informs that perception that makes it so difficult for our society to accept women, especially going into politics?
I mean, I guess I look at it from a continental perspective, because African Women's Development Fund funds regionally across all of Africa. And so we see the same pattern everywhere. And what's usually done is an attempt to discredit, because it sounds like by any means necessary. So we'll use a widowhood right, or we'll talk about your personal relationships and your private life. All of it are just sort of cheap ways to try and discredit a candidate, because ultimately men don't want to share power. That's all it is, in simple terms. And so, and then also then it seems that it's easy to try and discredit women by looking at their private affairs and what they do. There have been so many men, including heads of state, who have been involved in scandals, who've been involved in completely inappropriate behavior and sometimes illegal behavior when it comes to their interactions in the private domain. And yet somehow that is all excused and is not considered to affect their capacity to lead a nation. And so again, I just think the problem is that we're engaging in a domain of a lot of bias, and that actually women are being almost tried on a criteria that's unfair. That's unfair. And in a way, actually not even about the issues at hand. You know, we're... through the African Feminist Forum that we organize, we have a chance to interact with a lot of African women who were liberation fighters. So these are women who were part of African liberation struggles for independence, some of whom were even commanders in the liberation armies. And, you know, I mean, I personally am an anti-militarist, but I find it interesting that a woman could even command an anti-liberation army, which means she could be a minister of defense.
Yeah.
Right? That she understands.
That would be the day.
Right?
In
But
Ghana.
that she understands what it means to have a tactical oversight over the concerns of your country from a security perspective. And so I think African women have already proved their capacity in a range of roles. We have market women here who actually control trade in certain areas. It's not that people are just doing small-scale trade, actually taking decisions around trade, which is again the job of a Minister of Finance.
Right. But
exactly.
There are some who also feel that maybe we are not accepting that this is what it is and find a way around it, but we are rather fighting the system and wanting it to be what we want it to be or what we think it must be. Jessica?
I mean, it's true. That's again the problem about playing in a playing field that's not fair. It's not fair. It's not even designed for women. Actually, the whole thing is not designed for women. And so women are constantly trying to force themselves into this and again have to kind of play in a field that's unfair. So it's not just that you're actually preparing like any political candidate for office, but then on top of it, you're trying to fight all of these other barriers, whether it be a lack of access to financing or lack of support in the general public, etc. So I think that's really what needs to change. We need to change our broader attitude about it. I feel like the capacities you can build, but if you don't change the context.
But also, you see, it's a system. And if you have a system of oppression, you need to put in place policies and act on the policies that eradicate that system of oppression. I think in the past 2 years, one of the parties tried an affirmative action. I think it was NDC. No, it was MPP. And it was completely kicked against as though we were not in 2016. However, this same Ghana, at one of our earlier parliaments, the parliament that brought in the 10 women, I don't know whether it's the first or the second, brought Mrs. Ayensu into the parliament. We had an affirmative action in place in the early 1960s here in Ghana.
We recognize that we need to develop strategies, but at the same time, we have to fight the system.
Right.
And we know that when it comes to elections, the political parties play a very key role. And in the past, we have engaged with them at all levels, with the women who are interested, the women who play an active role in the parties, with the hierarchy, the executive, the rank and file. We have done that. And we have even institutionalized a training program where we bring women from all the political parties to go through a modular course on women's leadership, political participation, democracy and what it is, and all of those key issues and learnings that will really equip our women to play an active role in the parties where they belong. And for the members, especially the men who hold key positions in the parties, to really see that these are women who are capable. Of course, they are even capable before they acquire the training, but to be able to speak the language of politics, so to speak, so that they can also participate effectively. That program has gone on for 10 years now, and I think that many of the women who have participated are playing major roles, not only in the political parties, but also in parliament and also in leadership positions once the parties form government. But I must say that it's a very, very sad case for women. And sometimes those of us who work on these issues, we even become fatalistic. That perhaps there's something wrong with us as women. Because I don't know what else women should be able to do to convince society that women have a role to play, that women have needs and concerns, and that they can actually contribute to the well-being of our society.
Let me take a break. When we come back, we'll go to the audience and find out from them what they think contributes to the difficulty in getting women voted. Let me say thank you to GTP for my cloth. GTP 50 years of styling the nation. They create businesses for our women, especially our market women, and we are grateful to them. Thank you to Ophelia Crossland Design that made my dress. Matilda Hood Couture MHC takes care of my beading needs, and Paba Cosmetics. They provide a makeup product. Makeup was applied by Makeup and More. And today my hair is called kinky hair. It looks quite natural. Yes, my own hair. Yeah. By Chocolat. We'll be back.
Odo, oyo best my power. Cause one num tinted venicare what? When say tinted venicare. And kwani bibidra clinically no ya testing with Department of Pharmacology and Microbiology at University of Ghana on Medical School.
Sir,
Omudum stamp with say by Minia num tinted venicare what?
Hey, tinted ambassador.
Abuaye papa. 020-816-0807 and 0276-875629.
Tina 13 euro.
When it comes to your family, turn to the anti-malarial you can trust. Mala 2. Mala 2 is a highly effective artemether-lumefantrine anti-malarial available in syrup and tablets, specially formulated for children and adults. Keep the whole family healthy with Mala 2.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. This program is also supported by Go-Got Yogurt, Awake Purified Water by Casapreco Company Limited. For every bottle of Awake Purified Water you buy, they contribute 1 Ghana Peswa to the National Cardiothoracic Fund to support the less privileged. That's why we are happy, really, really happy to be associated with them. Thank you to Matames. They give us support. Cake Techniques, they refresh us. Mac Catering Services, House of Foods, and Yep Cleaning Services. I always trust them to give you a very clean environment. We are grateful to all of them for their support. But we want to find out, Manye, why, what is the problem? Why is it difficult to get to women being supported and voted for?
Thank you very much. In fact, this is a very serious issue. And as women, we have to be upstanding and try to push this issue. I mean, the first point I will talk about is stigmatization on women that go into politics. Instead of us coming together to support the person, then we start pushing the person up and down until the time whether they will form all women party or all women conference or congress, whatever they will call it. Women have to join political parties before they can stand, before they can contest. And if we as a nation don't stop blinding those who stand on political platforms, that you are for ABC, you are for CPP, you are for GFC, you are for HH. If we don't stop that and bring them together, that whichever platform you stand on, you are on in the cause for women. So you must be supported.
So do you think there's something that the women themselves do?
Not that after you have been encouraged, you have been motivated, you have been pushed, naturally you have to be on the platform. And after being on that platform, your result is wherever you go, this is ABC, this is UPP, this is GPP. So if you don't take care your business, your children, your family, everybody is going to suffer. So until the time women sit down, analyze their status, try as much as possible to make the party politics a special issue for them, they will be running away. Because if you look at the educated status we have in the country, if you look at the energizing, active women in the country, you see that majority of them are shining away from politics.
Right.
Because of the stigmatization. They have their children to protect, they have their business to protect, so you have to run away. So my advice is, let's come together, build out the women, they are already in the system, and let's give them motivation, whichever platform they will stand, they are women of substance, then we will support them. Then everything will be okay for us. God bless
you. God
Ghanaian
bless you
women.
too. Thank you very much.
I think for me, another reason could be finance. Politics in Ghana looks very expensive. And if she has to put in her money, her hard-earned income into motivating people to vote for her because there's no transparent or clear procedure, then that becomes very difficult for more women to go into, because as women, our monies don't have, time.
they don't have, our monies don't have free time.
It has to do with our religious misinterpretation of our religious beliefs. Ghanaians are generally very religious. Irrespective of the religion that we believe in. You see, sometimes, for instance, the Bible talks about women learning in silence and then being submissive. I think most religions talk about that. So sometimes, because of this, when a woman even wants to put herself out for contesting for political positions, people even maybe in churches or this thing might even discourage her. So I think that we can even start dealing with this from even the religious point of view.
Socialization plays a key role. And the way we are socialized. So in spite of the public awareness, we still have it at the back of our mind that a woman should not lead. So if you want to be in the political space, then the question is, what does she want to become a man? And all that, you have to negotiate with your family, you have to negotiate with your husband, whilst a man will be in the political space without negotiating with anybody when they decided they want to be in the political space.
Interesting points, right? That tells you we have a huge task ahead of us. Kina.
I really liked her point about the religion aspect, because there's so much vested these days in the new religious setup, especially with the non-traditional Protestant churches, where the men are the leaders of the church, and then power is vested very much in the fact that they are men. Cults. I call them cults. So then, in order for them to sell their religion, they have to. There's a process of vesting power. And they really need for the men, especially in their congregation, to buy into the man is the head of the house, the man is the head. And therefore, then the women are the neck. We are the neck. So how can the neck be the head? So it's a thing that, and I always talk about how I don't like to think that in the old days it was better, but this particular path we are on, it's new. We've lost a certain kind of, if we must talk religion, a certain kind of Protestantism that was progressive, that was empowering of women in the spaces. So she's completely right. It's hard now to actually reconcile the fact that women now we are to submit and we are the neck, to now that we somebody has sat in my office and be like, just like how your husband is the head of the household. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, you are the neck. I'm like, no, I'm a person. I'm a woman. The issue is, you want to be a politician. You yourself now, you don't have money, you may be a teacher. Build the bridges. Women are active in the churches. We are now the foundations for most institutions and organizing. Our point is that let's find ways in which we are not just the foundation, we also lead it. But I urge all Ghanaian women, you know, when the pastors, especially at weddings, when they are talking about you at the head, let the message go here and quickly come out here. Because every time you sit there and you listen, you know, messages are powerful, words are very powerful things. You find yourself believing it, you find yourself telling it to your sons, then you start to look differently. Your sons are going to be heads of households. And then your daughters, and it never ends. So do not sit in a church and allow anyone to misinterpret the word of God for you that you are the neck. You are not the neck.
And to be honest, we have men who have always supported women.
Yes,
and we talked about the first constitutional assembly, and it was in Nkrumah. So we need leaders, both among women ourselves and also among men who believe in the equality of the citizen, equality of women and men. And that is why when some of these programs are supported by organizations such as Star Ghana, African Women Development Fund, what have you, then we feel very much empowered that at least there is a way that we can use to move forward. In Ghana today, we have an affirmative action bill. And we are saying that if our policymakers are really committed to the women's issue, they should pass the affirmative action bill now, so that by 2017, when the new government comes, we will find a cohort of women from all walks of life filling positions, not only in parliament, but also in positions of authority. And those men out there who support the idea of equality, who support the fact that a woman is as much a citizen as a man, they should stand up and be counted.
Let me say thank you to our sponsors, Anointed Electrical Engineering Services, the generator expert. Thank you to Tinated Herbal. They produce Tinated Venacare, Tomacare and Malacare. Thank you to Access Bank with their Access W products. Thank you to NS Chemists producing quality and affordable medicines for Ghanaians and beyond. And the African Women's Development Fund. They support or have been supporting women's rights organizations across Africa for over 16 years now and still counting. And we are privileged to be part of that. I think all our organizations here, except Jessica's organization, because she's from AWDF. You know, AWDF supporters, and we are really grateful to them. We take a short break. When we come back, we'll be finding out what are we going to do? What are you going to do differently 2016? We'll be back.
Hello, I'm Amma, and I'm a W Young professional.
My name is Benedessa. I'm a W in business.
Hi, I'm AC, and I'm proud to represent the W and family.
I have access to the best sources of inspiration, an outstanding mentor, career workshops, and more.
I am connected to a panel of professional advisors. I even got a new business partner through a W seminar.
Being a working mother is amazing, and W empowers us with special lifestyle offers, an early saver for the kids, and bank assurance protection for the whole family.
Sign on to W at any Access Bank branch near you.
Get inspired.
Get connected.
Get empowered.
W, inspiring, connecting, empowering.
The things you do for me.
It's a new beginning and a new dawn. The Standpoint, 8 years of impacting women and society by the grace of God. Finally, get your sports gear ready for the 8th Femathon, a walk for peace on the 23rd of July. Venue, Elwak Sports Stadium, Accra. Time, 6 a.m. There will be fun games, cooking competition, and so much more.
Sponsored by, supported by, media partners.
The Standpoint at 8, woman, arise and shine. Your new dawn is here.
Nothing can break through you.
Live. Hi. One train. Me buy to for dinner.
LEAP.
Leap tomato paste.
Oh,
What else?
honey, when you say leap tomato paste, be an idea. It's so be so.
No more saying
Madam, the food tastes very good. What's the secret?
LEAP.
Leap. Leap tomato paste. Emma Edwani de Papa.
For bulk purchase, contact 050-140-1088.
I'm a mother and take so much delight in seeing that my kids are healthy. Want to know my secret? It's Kidix syrup. It's a multivitamin syrup full of vitamins and minerals which boost their immune system and increase their appetite for food. Kidix syrup is recommended for children between 6 months to 12 years. It's available at Oswon's Chemist, Lanza Chemist, and all pharmaceutical shops throughout the country. Jukat Pharmacy, located in Kaswa, is the sole distributor for Kidix syrup. For bulk purchase, please call 0244-560-296. Kidix syrup, the perfect growth and appetite tonic for children.
Hush, my little baby. For babies, tummy pains, minor digestive upsets, or teething, hearing mothers everywhere use Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture. It's quick, effective, and sure to leave babies smiling again in no time. Auntie Mary's Baby Gripe Mixture from Ennis Chemist, because everyone needs a chemist.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. Thank you to GTP for my close 50 years of supporting and styling the nation. Thank you to Matilda Hood Couture. They take care of my BD need. Thank you to Ophelia Crossland Design. She sewed for me my hair by Shukla Hair. Makeup by Paba Cosmetics and applied by Makeup and More. Go to your gut and Awake Purified Mineral Water supporters. Jessica, 2016, election 2016 and women. What are we going to do? Knowing what we are dealing with now, the challenges that we face.
I mean, I think a few things. One is that in the context of Ghana, it's really important to understand who's running, to get a sense of where they're situated and what kind of support they need. So to strengthen any mechanisms that are actually trying to support women candidates, regardless of what party they're involved in. That also it's really important to track what happens. We had supported something called the Women's Situation Room, which is a group of African women continental experts that go to different countries around elections, for example, and they were just in Uganda around the election because it was going to be a contentious one. Okay. And what they do is they also track particular violations or issues of concern in the electoral process when it comes to the gender dynamics. Okay. So there are those kinds of initiatives to support too. And I also think if there are candidates, women candidates of substance, vote for them. Vote for them. And I think that also women too, of course not every woman voter is married, but for those that are, I think it's important to consider your own political position. So if you would like to support a party that's different from your family or from your husband, you should also feel empowered to do so because you are also a citizen. So I think it's also time to sort of think about our own people's own power as individuals. But then also think about how do we rally collective power. These things can be really lonely. You can imagine a woman candidate facing all manner of attacks because people are trying to prevent her from actually getting to office. Where does she go to for support? So I think it's important again to think about ways that we can support those candidates, but also doing the individual work of supporting through voting, and then assessing the process as a whole.
Jessica talked about first representation. It matters. Representation matters. So if I enter a room and we're supposed to be talking about Ghanaian issues, I want to see women. And there will be men. So I want to see women. I right now don't have a policy that if you invite me to your panel and I'm the only woman, I'm not even coming. Because there must be, if there are 4 spaces, there must be 2 women. The other woman doesn't need to agree with me. No. But we have representation matters. The other thing is I always bring up the issue of freedom. When we started our independence struggle, what was our plan? Our plan wasn't that we get President Kwame Nkrumah and then we change a very nice Theodose Oko design flag. That was not it. Freedom, we are supposed to be seeking our freedom. So we want women to be free in Ghana. And to be free, we must also have policies and have an environment that allows women and empowers them to make the best choices where they find themselves. But it also means that women must participate. And we can't achieve development with women not when women can't go and vote for someone else to represent their interest. It would be nice if men, and we also know that men most of the time represent, I don't even know whose interest they are representing. I don't know what that is. Right. So the thing is that the concept of a leadership in all spheres of our lives that understands the absolute imperative that we are either doing equity and equality and justice for women, for children, for people who are marginalized, for people who are disabled, or we're actually not doing anything. That's the kind of leader I want.
Right.
What is this? What?
Dr. Rose, I know, right? A lot to be said. Dr. Rose Kuti, Madam Abantu.
Yes. When any political party wins elections and they come to power, the first thing they do is to go on the streets and drive off women from the streets. Those women who sell in the markets, that's the first thing they do.
Yeah.
When it comes to election, they encourage them to come on
back
the streets and sell their wares. Those women, now their eyes should be open so that they'll be able to assess who is a leader who is supportive of them as women. Every political party wants to win power and then form the next government. That is important, that we are interested in whether or not there is safety, whether or not there is peace, whether we have a violent-free election. It's so important. But what is a violent elections? A violent elections is an election where women's voices do not count. And if we are not careful, women, the way we have been so pushed to the back in these times, it's not going to be possible for our voices to be heard. We should keep our eyes open. Let's participate. Let's get our voices heard as women. We want everybody in Ghana to listen to the language of women, to listen to what women say their needs are and how the elections should be carried forward.
Thank you very much. We take a break. When we come back, I'll give you a bit of me. To be a woman is not easy. Is it easy to go through your menses? Is it easy to go through pregnancy? Is it easy to have a baby? Is it easy to maintain a marriage? Is it easy to go through school? Is it easy to get a job? Nothing is easy. It's about time we have women daring to be different, daring to do things differently. As the politician going to stand for election, the woman, you need to, forgive my friend, damn the consequences and go all out. Because it's a battle out there. And if you are passionate and going for the right thing, the right reason, as they've all said, then you will not care about the names people will call you. Nobody died from being called the names. Oh, God knows some of us wouldn't be here. How you take it. There is the support base. There are people to support you. Look out for them. Reach out to people. And for you, or to you out there, who is going to be the one to vote, the voter, consider these things. Your life depends on it. Don't let 20 cedis that the woman can't give you make the difference. Don't let the 50 cedis. Don't let the fact that she's not married, that she doesn't have a child, that she used to be this, she used to be that. Who is she now? What can she do? What will she do for you, for the community, for this country called Ghana? You need to make up your mind. You need to make up your mind, because we've had it enough. And all of us have heard it too many times. Young women telling us, I can't get a job, I can't do this, I can't do this. It's time for you to make a difference and seal your destiny. Election 2016 and women, What is it going to be? Thanks for watching. See you same time next week. Bye for now.